The world needs B2K.
B2K's breakup was a huge shock to their fans.
Boys for Life Tour.
Grizz Nation, Friday nights just got a whole lot better. Introducing Buckets and Brews, the ultimate way to tip off your weekend. Every Friday this season, grab a terrace-level ticket to the Grizz game and 2 12-ounce Miller Lights for just $55. Get great seats, cold brews, and Grizzlies basketball. It's everything you need to start your weekend off right. So get the deal that's too cold to hold. Go to grizzlies.com/Friday to lock in your tickets today.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
Who's going to be the tougher team that rebounds and prevents second-chance opportunities?
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Jeff Dunham, Artificial Intelligence, his all-new tour.
Just don't have. You're the other white meat.
How can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it.
I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss a Memphis. Friday, April 10th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale Monday, September 29th at jeffdunham.com.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by OrthoSouth, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
Speaking to you from Midtown Manhattan, New York City. Bennett Doyle back in Memphis producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you're ready for basketball in Berlin because it's almost here. Not today. Not today. Big gap between games when you have to travel to Europe. But the Grizzlies will be on the court in Berlin tomorrow against the Orlando Magic, and there are some indications that Ja Morant is going to be in uniform and play. He met with the media earlier today in Berlin. You can do that because there's several hours ahead of us, time zones and all that stuff. We'll talk about what Ja said momentarily and get a medical update on Zach Edey. It's not great. First, though, let me set today's schedule for you. In the next segment, Chris Vernon is going to join me. He, of course, is the host of the Chris Vernon Show, weekdays noon, Grind City Media. He'll pop in studio in the next segment, I believe, sit next to Bennett Doyle. I'll talk to him about all things Grizzlies. Chris Vernon will be here around 10:20. Finish talking to him, take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, one day after being eliminated from the AFC playoffs, Mike Tomlin retired as the Steelers head coach after 19 seasons. End of an era in Pittsburgh. We'll spend some time on that. We'll do it in about 40 minutes. Fun night, college basketball last night. Kansas welcomed Iowa State to Allen Fieldhouse. The Jayhawks were 3.5-point underdogs, won the game convincingly. It was a blowout from start to finish. We'll applaud Bill Self. We'll do that a little later on in the show. Aging Hollywood star Kiefer Sutherland has been arrested after an incident with a rideshare driver in California. I will never understand why people just can't get into an Uber and just get into it, just sit there. You don't have to say nothing. You don't really have to do anything. I don't know why. This should be easy. This should be an easy thing to do, but people struggle with it. Kiefer Sutherland being the latest example. I'll walk you through that situation. We'll do that a little later on in the show. The New York Mets have offered Kyle Tucker a contract worth reportedly $50 million per year. It's not my money. I don't care. Sign him. Sign him. We need outfielders. We need hitters. We'll get into that. We'll do it in the third segment. And ESPN president of content, Burke Magnus, he jumped on social media yesterday to publicly defend Pat McAfee after a survey conducted by The Athletic suggested that the ESPN star is losing support among college football fans. Put me down on the side of Burke Magnus and Pat McAfee here. I'll tell you why. We'll do that during a segment. We call 5 more things you need to know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carryout and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies. And that's because it's now been 5 days since ESPN reported that the Grizz are, for the first time in history, listening to trade offers for former Rookie of the Year, Ja Morant. As of this moment, Ja Morant remains a member of the Memphis Grizzlies. He's in Berlin with the team. He's been practicing. Big Bet Bennett, I'm sure you saw it. He met with the media earlier today. He answered questions as they were asked. What'd you make of Ja Morant's media availability earlier today in Berlin, Germany?
Well, I mean, it certainly wasn't encouraging if you're in the camp of you want Ja Morant to be here and be a member of the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't think you can take anything from that press conference and feel encouraged by it. Do you?
Well, I tried to tell you a few days ago. I was just talking. I wasn't even trying to tell you anything. I was just talking. You were just looking at me bored, and I was just talking. And, and I said something along the lines of, it's clear he doesn't want to be here. And you said, well, I don't know if he wants to be here. And I was like, if he wants to be here, he has done a horrible job of showing it. And fast forward to this press conference, you're coming over to my side, right?
I mean, I still think I think there's a chance he wants to be. I think there's probably some hurt feelings, maybe.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I just watching that this morning, it was pretty short answers. It didn't really take anything from it. Like, there was nothing that he said that made me think, oh, wow, he, kind of explained what's going on. It was all just kind of short, one-worded answers. Yeah,
it was very short answers. If you were trying to learn anything from it other than Ja Morant is Ja Morant and this thing isn't going well, I apologize, because that's all you could take from it. Ja Morant is Ja Morant, and this isn't going well, which, by the way, has been a thing for years now, and it's why I'm assuming the franchise has reached the point where they are open to moving a guy. Less than a year ago, they insisted they had no interest in moving. And I've had multiple people ask me about that, so let's just settle there for a second. Like, how could they say last season that they're not interested in moving Ja Morant, or in the preseason act like they're in the Ja Morant business, or blah, 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 blah? It's because they believed that when they said it. That was the plan. That's what everybody wanted. Nobody ever wanted to get to the place where we were last Friday, but it has been building to this point for a while. And now, everybody who writes or talks about the NBA on a national level is writing or talking about this. And unless you think you're more connected than Brian Windhorst and Tim Bontemps and Tim McMahon and all of these people who actually do this for a living, like, unless you think you're more plugged in than they are, they all have indicated to all of us that this has been building to this point for a while, and most of them believe there is no turning back. Tim Bontemps seems to be the most enthusiastic in that camp. Just like, they have to divorce. There is no staying together. And, I always hoped that wouldn't be true. I like the idea of taking it to the brink, then realizing what you could lose, then walking it back, because here is the truth, and I will forever believe this, unless there is evidence to support a counter argument. But right now, I believe this will be true. The Grizzlies and Ja Morant are going to divorce, and they're both going to regret it. they're both going to look back on it and wish that it could have gone differently, and recognize that it perhaps could have gone differently if these handful of things could have been addressed or adjusted or never happened. Perhaps that's a story as old as time, in relationships forever. It's the Penny Shaq story. It's the Kobe Shaq story. It's whatever story you want to take in sports or in real life and attach it to. But I understand how they've gotten to a point where it feels like it's just time to break up and move on. And I'm not even disagreeing with it. It might be just time, like Tim Bontemp says, to break up, divorce, move on. There might be no turning back here. That happens all the time too. But I do think if there's ever a column written about this in any sort of detailed way, if there's ever any sort of book written about this or documentary done about this, they will look back on all of this and it will be a sad story. It will be something that had incredible potential. It'll be something that was filled with hope, and it'll be something that, for a variety of reasons, got to a bad place. And as we sit here one day before the Grizzlies are about to be on among the biggest international stages they've ever been on, and this should be like a celebration of a lot of different things, it just feels sad. The guy who is every one of our kids' favorite players is sitting in Berlin, Germany, short, answering questions about things we wish didn't even have to exist. And it's just sad. All of this sucks.
Yeah, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. It's, it was kind of surreal seeing him out there practicing and like talking with his teammates and all that kind of stuff. Like, there's obviously this video of him and Vince Williams that's making rounds
so
this morning.
What do you make of that?
I mean, I think that's like, dude, that could literally be nothing more than two competitors, like, arguing about something that they think needs to be done this way or this way. I don't make a lot of that because I'm pretty sure like guys get into it at practice. Like,
okay,
whatever.
I'm pretty sure of that too. But I'm asking this from an honest place. Tell me the other time you saw a video of a Memphis Grizzlies player going at it like that with Ja Morant?
I guess I haven't.
Okay, so
yeah, go ahead.
That suggests it's not just like this is the type of thing that happens. Like, I want to be clear. It might be over nothing. It might be over how to switch a ball screen. All right, it could be over nothing.
It was clearly basketball stuff. I mean, that's what it looked like to me.
But when it raises to that level, that is a byproduct of all of this other stuff. It just is. I've had these types of moments with coworkers where there's just an awkwardness and it's just bubbling. It's just bubbling and it's there and it's just there and you've been around each other and it's cool. We're being cool, but it's bubbling and we both know it's there. And then some little thing happens and somebody pops off. That's what I take away from that. That this, everybody can get in front of the cameras and act like we're just here to play basketball. We're focused on the task at hand, but they couldn't possibly be. This is distracting for everybody. How often over the past 4 days has anybody asked you about anything other than Ja Morant connected to the Grizzlies?
Not a lot. I mean, I've been asked a lot.
Well, I mean, yeah, because there's always a lot going on.
Yeah.
But this is the thing that is the focal point of everything.
Yes.
And it's awkward. And there's some sense there that this season is going the wrong way.
Yes.
Because of everything attached to him. There are people, you understand this, right, whose entire lives could be uprooted because of what's going on with him. And I'm sure you've gone through all of the possible trade packages, and I am not trying to connect these dots. I'm just explaining to you how all of this is real-life stuff, and it matters.
Yep.
Like, go look at the Ja Morant trade packages, the possibilities. Vince Williams is in some of those. Vince Williams right now has
that's a good point. I didn't think about it like that.
Vince Williams right now has no idea where he's going to be living a week from today, all right? And it's not because of him. It's because he might be a byproduct of, well, if you're going to move on from this, then you might as well move on from this. And if somebody needs backup guard wing depth, well, then maybe you can get a pick for this. So, hey, Vince, you could live anywhere a week from now. I want to be clear. I'm not connecting any dots. This could have been an argument about how to block out. All right. But I think all of this just stuff that has been overwhelming the franchise, frankly, for a while, but publicly since last Friday, it takes a toll.
Yeah.
It just does. And I would love for us to be sitting here today talking about, man, this is going to be cool. Prime Video on Thursday. Desmond Bane's first game against the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies in Berlin, Germany. Uber Arena. What a cool name. This is going to be fun. And instead, it's almost stupid to even talk about any of that, because the only thing that matters, quite literally the lead headline at ESPN.com right now, is Ja Morant giving short answers to questions in media availability in what could be his final days or weeks as a member of this franchise.
Yeah, it's. I said this to you yesterday. Like, it is unfortunate that this, that this report came out when it did, just because it does overshadow what's a huge week for the franchise. Like, this is a big deal that the Grizzlies were the team that was chosen to be a part of these international games, and you see how much the league is pushing it. Like, I've seen posts every day from all the NBA accounts, talking about this game. So it's obviously a big deal to be playing in Berlin, and for the Grizzlies to be playing in Berlin and London. And it just sucks that it, like you said, it's just kind of been overshadowed a little bit by this Ja stuff.
You see the NBA, the video that NBA.com or NBA on Twitter sent out of Desmond Bane, like watching his post-game interview?
Man, they really are trying to make us depressed, aren't they? Good God.
Buddy. It just, you watch that, and first off, you see the video and you just see a younger version of everything, a more innocent version of everything, a better version of everything. And it just reminds you of what this could have been and what it was supposed to be. And that's not hyperbole. Don't ever forget this. Or actually, you should probably forget it because it's depressing to think about. But ESPN in back-to-back years said the Grizzlies had the best future of any franchise in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
This is before Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was winning scoring titles and championships and finals MVPs and actual MVPs and doing what he did last night and beating the Spurs. But he existed and the Thunder existed, and all of the NBA experts at ESPN were asked, hey, who do you think's the next great thing in this league? Who do you think's the next great basketball thing in this world? And it was the Memphis Grizzlies. And it was because of Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Desmond Bane. ESPN sent an entire crew to FedEx Forum for an entire day.
I forgot about that. That was a fun day.
Here's the next great thing in this league that we have a billion-dollar business deal with. This is the next great thing. This is the face of the league going forward. We're going to take you down to Memphis, Tennessee, and we're going to car wash it all day long. That's where we were. And that video that Desmond was showed was a good illustration of that. And he's watching it with a big smile on his face. And he's like, oh, yeah, I remember that. Because, of course, he does. And you just contrast that. Contrast that video when you get bored today. Go find any post-game interview, but specifically that one, from the years where it felt like this was headed to the best place ever, and then contrast it with Ja Morant and Vince Williams this morning, or Ja Morant talking to the media this morning.
Yeah.
And just understand how different it is, how different it looks, how different it sounds. And, yeah, we always hoped we wouldn't get here. I always held out hope that I'm not an idiot. I understood that this was always a possibility. If only because literally everybody in the NBA outside of Memphis, Tennessee has been trying to tell everybody in the world that this is a possibility for a while. But I still always held out hope that we wouldn't get here because, like I've seen Vernon say, And he'll join us next. Like I've seen Vernon say.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see if he joins us next. But like I've heard him say, and I've said this as well, I don't know if it's possible, and I don't even know if for a while, if it's been possible for the Grizzlies and John Morant to coexist in any sort of meaningful, positive way. But if it were possible, that is the best thing for everybody. It just is. If it's possible. This is like a couple that, like, you're on the verge of divorce, but if you think marriage counseling can save it, go do that, because saving it would be the best thing. We might be past that point. Everybody says we are. But if there were a 2% chance of figuring this out and making it good, that's what I would vote for. But nobody outside of Memphis thinks that that's realistic anymore. In fact, people outside of Memphis, even when Vernon says it out loud, his co-host on his Ringer podcast, like, they mock him for it. And I do think it's important to understand that. Nobody outside of the 901 thinks that this is something that needs to continue, and that stinks.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic that they're playing Desmond Bane and the Magic. I mean, it really is that's the opponent in this game tomorrow. You mentioned the Des video. Like, you do wonder, I mean, if you know it's going to get to this point, do you even move on from Desmond Bane, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe that Desmond Bane.
There's going to be a lot of reflection.
Yeah, there's a lot of time to look back and second guess and, hindsight 2020, all that stuff. But it's possible the Desmond Bane trade, maybe somebody could reasonably argue this, that, like, what Orlando put on the table, you just take it, period. You're not competing
it was
for
really
championships.
Good call, yeah.
You're not competing for championships right now anyway. They put all of that on the table because they recognize the East is wide open. So they're chasing something. There's nothing realistic for you to chase. You love Desmond Bane. You take that deal no matter what. I think that's probably true. I think that's probably right. But undeniably, the way everything has unfolded since then has not gone as well as you hoped it would go since then. Yeah, the Desmond Bane trade probably is something you do no matter what. Regardless of what happens next, oh, wow, they're willing to put all that on the table. Let's do it. It played a role in you getting Cedric Coward. Like the Desmond Bane trade could be, I'll just say could be, a positive going forward. But I know that they did not want to, less than a year after moving Desmond Bane, also move John Morant. Like, you had a big three, or you thought you did. Theoretically, you did. And I don't think there was any scenario where they thought they were going to move two of them inside of a year. And once you move one and then are reportedly open to moving another, well, that's how you get to a place where now you're hearing Rich Paul come up with hypothetical trades for Jaren Jackson Jr. to get to the Lakers, which is something LeBron James had to address last night. It's all getting weird.
It is, yeah. It's trade season, man. We're right here.
We're getting there. We're getting there. So Rich Paul, who is obviously closely connected in a variety of ways to LeBron James, he has his own podcast and stuff, and he talks a lot. And he was on camera in front of a microphone talking, and he said, if I were the Lakers, what I'd be trying to do is get on the phone with the Grizzlies and, put a package together for Jaren Jackson Jr., give him Austin Reeves. Which, we can debate the merits of a hypothetical Jaren Jackson Jr. Austin Reeves trade if you want later. But the thing Rich Paul was saying was, if you're going to have Luka and a 41-year-old LeBron, you need somebody who can just sort of float around and play defense and clean up stuff. And Jaren Jackson Jr. is amazing at that. Austin Reeves is great, but he's not amazing at that. So if you could do a deal that involved those two players as the centerpieces, that's something I'd be doing if I'm the Lakers, which is awesome and maybe a smart thing to say up until the point to where one of your best friends has to go in the locker room and there's Austin Reeves sitting right there. It would be like if you knew there was somebody I talk to every day and I told you every day, this person is my best friend. I talk to this person every day. We have business deals together. We talk every day. we share opinions every day, blah, 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 blah. And then you turned on a podcast, and the person Bennett, is my best friend that I talk to every day, is on a podcast saying, none of my business, but if I were Gary Parrish, I'd be looking to get rid of Bennett Doyle, try to move him for this other producer over at this other place, because this other producer, he can do this and this and this
that
and
would
this
suck.
and this.
Don't do that. I have a family.
I would never. I would never. Okay, I wouldn't. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But think about how that would make you feel.
We'll never have this type of divorce.
Never. But think about how that would make you feel.
It would. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. So now Austin Reeves is like LeBron James' best friend. Austin Reeves has spent part of the season thinking, I'm sure, I'm a Laker and going to get a max contract. This is amazing. But last night, I'm certain he thought on some level, the NBA's all-time scoring leader, his best friend, just suggested they should trade me. And the NBA's all-time scoring leader is my teammate. He's sitting right there. It's just awkward,
Yeah.
But you know why it's all happening? Because of the 901. Because you moved Desmond Bane in the offseason. Now you're open to move John Morant. And now people are like, well, if they're going to move those guys, they might as well move Jaren Jackson Jr. too. What happened?
I don't know.
Bennett, what happened?
I don't know. It's I don't love it. I don't love it.
I don't love it either.
Yeah.
I don't love it either. And do you see this update on Zach Edey?
Bro, yeah, I did. So it's he's going to continue to offload and they said he'll be reevaluated in 6 weeks.
That's exactly what they said.
Let's see. Yeah, he'll continue offloading and will be reevaluated. I mean, listen, that's a long time. I've seen other people suggest it. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him again this season, just because.
I mean, we could be done. And here's the thing that concerns me.
Big man with foot issue.
He didn't do anything other than just play. And publicly, all we know is that he was playing well, all-star level, but it didn't feel right. So they were like, hey, let's shut it down for 4 weeks and let's hopefully that'll do it. And either it hasn't done it or they're just punting on the season and trying to get into the Darren Peterson sweepstakes. But neither one is fun.
Completely agreed with that. I mean, we go back to, and we said this earlier this week, like and it's still like we're still only halfway through the season, but it's the best they've looked all year has been with Zach Edey.
Yes.
He's a clear game changer. I don't know like what his ceiling is in this league or, if he's a multiple-time All-Star, anything like that when healthy, but I know that he is a game changer for this team. Like they're good when he plays. They just are. Regardless of who else is out there. Like he just changes things. So I'm hoping that it's something that if you want some kind of positive from it, for me, like I'm glad that he's not having some kind of surgery. I think that's something to feel positive about. So hopefully that, over these 6 weeks it heals and he's going to be good to go. But who knows?
Who knows? Whoever knows.
Yeah.
Bennett, whoever knows.
Another positive about that is Ty Jerome wasn't on it. I think that I think you could look at that positively and think, because we heard Tomas Islo's comments about him, I guess, a week ago. And that would lead me to believe that he's probably close if he's not on that injury report right there. Because it was Zach, Brandon Clark, and Scottie Pippen Jr., and they were all, 4 to 6 weeks, 6 weeks. No Ty Jerome. So I would take that as a positive.
Certainly that's a positive.
Yeah.
But oh, buddy, it took us like 29 minutes to get to a positive.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying here, man.
Bennett, I see you doing your best. I know you're doing your best. But, man.
Hold on. Are we getting some breaking news? Hang on.
Bennett, please don't hurt me with anything there.
Let me. I don't think it's anything like bad.
Well, how could it not be? I know it's not anything good. I ain't seen nothing good in forever.
No, people were suggesting that I don't know if that's a report. I'll let me do some digging. The chat was suggesting something that I haven't seen. So
Bennett, if you were taking your cues from a YouTube chat,
well, multiple people were saying it, so I was like, well, did some news break? But I'm not seeing it.
That YouTube chat is bananas.
No, those are my people. It is. DeMichael has it. John Morant's out for the game tomorrow.
Oh, awesome. I tell you what, I did think about this. If we are in the final days and weeks of the John Morant experience, it is kind of fitting that we get to spend perhaps our last week constantly talking about whether John Morant's going to play or not. I mean, we've been doing it for years. Might as well close it out this way.
Dang.
There's no better way to close out the John Morant era than spending.
Stop. All right.
Hey Bennett, I got my microphone. What are we going to do today? Let's talk about whether John Morant's going to play or not. We've been doing it for years. It's fitting that we get to continue to do it, but now it's over. At least
there's
until
your breaking news.
At least until tomorrow. Now tomorrow, this is going to be fun. You know what we get to do tomorrow?
What?
Yeah, you think John's going to play in London?
I would be willing to bet no.
At this point, it looks like we might be done. We might be done.
I'd be shocked if he plays in London if he's not playing in this Berlin game.
We might be done now.
Yeah.
Hey.
That news right there, I'm just that kind of the writing's on the wall. I feel like.
You know what? Like, we all about to get some hard lessons here over at Grind City Media. Chris Vernon, Jessica Benson, Lang Whitaker. I'm talking to all of you. I know you can all do good shows when you have the forever gift of, I guess we could just talk about whether John's going to play tonight.
Stop.
All right? But when that's gone, what are you going to do? How are you going to feel your show up then? How are you going to feel your show up when you don't have the crutch of, is John going to play tonight or not?
Those are all extremely creative people. They will find a way.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And I know, like, for years it would be like, oh, Jesus, Ja is going to play tonight. Now what are we going to talk about? And then you would just go, okay, I got another one. You think Ja's going to be happy if he plays tonight? Is Ja happy? And so you could build whole shows around that. But let's see how creative you are going forward. This is where we learn who the talents are and who the talents aren't. We're about to find out who's gifted and who isn't over here at Grind City Media. We might be out the business of spending 2 hours every day of talking about whether John Morant's going to play or whether he's happy. Now, what you going to do? Let's see how good you are at breaking down Mike Tomlin's career. All right? Let's see how good you are at actually talking about basketball stuff. That crutch is gone, perhaps, very soon. Bennett, you think you can do it? Bennett, you have never done a show at Grind City Media where you didn't forever have the crutch of, we could just, if like we can't figure anything else out, we can just talk about whether John Morant's going to play or not. You've never been in a position to have to look elsewhere. You think you're going to be able to do this?
Dude, we did no, hang on. We did a ton of shows when he missed a lot of time with that injury. The earlier one, the shoulder one. That was the shoulder one. Yeah.
I know, but then we could always go back to like option 2, which is like, how do you think John's doing with his shoulder?
Yeah,
you think he's happy about you think he's happy about his shoulder? What do you think that Instagram post meant? Oh man, we always had something. Could be over. You think you're going to be able to do it? I'm confident in my ability to produce and create shows without any questions connected to whether John Morant's going to play. I know I can do it.
Okay.
You sure you can do it?
TBD.
You think everybody over here can do it?
Yeah.
I do too. I want to be clear. I got confidence in my coworkers. I think we're going to be just fine. I think we're going to just be fine. But we're going to see. This is one of those deals where you're going to have to, Adam Sandler was doing Happy Gilmore's over and over again for a while. But eventually, you got to see if you can do something else. You know what I'm saying?
He did one other Happy Gilmore. I mean, come on. Don't disparage Adam Sandler in this, man.
But Billy Madison's?
Yeah.
He was doing those things for a while. You understand my point.
I do.
Don't be snooty with your physical media. You understand my point.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize.
He was doing those types of movies for a while.
Yeah.
But at some point, we want to see, can you do something else? And then he went out and did that serious movie, and that was great. And I think it changed the way people perceive him. This is an opportunity for us to change the way people perceive us. Can we at Grind City Media do something other than talk about whether John Morant is going to play and be happy? Maybe we're about to find out.
We're going to find out.
Maybe we're about to find out. Chris Vernon may or may not join us.
He's not responding to me. I'm not sure if he's going to join us or not. No, he's not going to join us.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Seems like something I should have known about.
Dude, y'all are like best friends. Okay, I take some of the blame for this, all right? But I think a little bit is on y'all's shoulders.
It's probably, I take responsibility. I went to bed at 5 a.m.
I take 75% of the responsibility for Chris Vernon not being on this upcoming segment.
I'll take the other 25%.
Okay, thank you.
He should take some. He should take some.
Yeah, actually, he gets some of it too.
Okay, you take 75%.
He didn't even tell me he was going out of town.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was going out of town. But I think in my blurry memory, I think I remember seeing on Instagram, I think I remember thinking at some point in the middle of the night, Vernon must be like right down the street from me. I think I remember thinking that, but then I forgot about it very quickly. So here's the way we're going to do this. You're going to take 75% of the blame.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm going to take 15% of the blame. And then we're going to give Vernon 10% of the blame. Because I feel like if I give Vernon any more than 10% of the blame, then Michael Eaves is going to text me and be like, yo, man, you want me to tell people all the times we didn't have a show on Monday and you forgot to tell me about it?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Although I'm the only one who suffers the blame for that. Sorry, Michael.
I'm sorry, too. I never feel worse than when I forget to tell Michael Eaves we're not doing a show on Monday.
That's okay. That's okay. I apologize for you. Don't worry.
And you know what I do? I text. I swear to God, I text. I'm like, did Bennett not tell you?
He thinks I'm the biggest idiot in the world. Yes. He really does.
And he sees how you push buttons. So there's some evidence to support it.
I've always pushed the buttons well during Michael Eaves' segment. That's just not true. That's inaccurate.
You really mostly only struggle with buttons during carryout, and he's long gone by then.
That's
he doesn't even
exactly
see that.
Right.
He doesn't even know that.
Has no clue.
The chat knows that. You know, the chat knows that. But like Michael Eaves doesn't know how reckless you get with the buttons later in the show. But every time we've not had a show on Monday, and he is just sitting. Do you ever think about this? Michael Eaves gets up after hosting SportsCenter until 2 o'clock in the morning on Sunday night, gets up and puts on a Kentucky shirt, sets his little stupid computer up, sits here like this. He's waiting on us to call.
And sometimes we forget.
Yes. Okay? But every time, I blame it on you.
I know. That's fine.
I know.
It's what producers are for.
That is quite literally what producers are for.
We're the wall.
You are the wall.
Uh-huh.
Hey, GP, man, I'd love to come on the show sometime. Man, I'd love to have you sometime. All right, let's look at a time. Hey, but man, I'd love to come on Thursday. Let me check with my producer. Let me check with Bennett. Man, I checked. He's already got Thursday booked. I'm going to circle back with you.
It's fine.
You have no idea how many people hate you.
It's fine. I've made it this far. I'll be
you
fine.
made it this far.
Yeah.
I need you, though. I need you for cover.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for, man.
That's why you're here.
Yeah,
you're here. Why are you here? To
cover.
Stare at me with bored eyes and listen to me talk.
My eyes are never bored. Why do you say that?
You are here to listen to me.
Do I look bored?
You are here to listen to me turn every 5-minute story into an 8-minute story unnecessarily. All right? And to provide cover for when people ask me uncomfortable things or I forget something. And I can just always put it back on you. I appreciate you, man. If I don't make that clear, I hope it's clear.
At least we can laugh a little.
Can we?
At least we can have a little laugh, because there ain't much to laugh about right now.
What happened? What do you think happened?
I think I don't know, but I bet we'll find out eventually. I bet we'll find out at some point.
I'll tell you one thing. Tim Bontemps sounds like he knows something.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet we'll find out eventually.
Tim Bontemps sounds like he knows something.
Mm-hmm.
We might need to get Tim Bontemps on the show if I can remember to tell you to do it.
Get better soon, Zach Edey.
Get well soon, Zach Edey.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
My God. I thought 2025 was bad. 2026 is something else, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It
All right,
Chris
Vernon is in New York City. He could be 200 feet from me right now.
Roser said he'd come in here.
You know, in the spirit of everything, if we're being serious, it's actually better that Chris Vernon's not here. I have a million things to do today.
How did you say that 10 minutes ago?
And I am delirious, if you can't tell. Bro, I'm so mad at Josh Pastner right now.
What did Josh do?
You don't even know. You don't even know how mad I am at Josh Pastner right now.
What did Josh do? They're Mountain West. Yeah, y'all had that game last night.
Oh, it was a triple header on CBS Sports Network.
Yeah.
11 o'clock tip, UNLV, Boise State. Slide the tip to 11:10 because I have no idea why they did that. So we got an 11:10 tip-off. UNLV, Boise State, followed by a 30-minute episode of Inside College Basketball. This game went on forever. There were a million reviews, a million stoppages. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And then it's a 3-point game. Final seconds. Boise State's down 3, got the ball. I am yelling at 40 TVs in the CBS Broadcast Center. Foul him, Josh. Foul him, Josh. You're
Please.
up 3. Foul him, Josh. Foul up 3. Foul up 3. Please, God, foul up 3. Because if you foul up 3,
it's over.
Not definitely, but the odds of me having to continue to sit there and watch more Mountain West basketball at 1:30 in the morning decrease dramatically. They didn't foul up 3. Boise State knocks in a 3. I'm not making this up. I don't think you would mind me saying this. Roy Hibbert is the nicest person I know. Avery Johnson's actually the nicest person I know, but Roy Hibbert might be second. Like, I have enough friends who work in the media industry. I know there's some real just nightmares out there, but I'm being honest. I don't really have them at all. Genuinely, like everybody I work at Grind City Media with, I get along with. I don't know that everybody likes me, but I like everybody. I get along with everybody. And at CBS, it's the exact same thing. And Avery Johnson is, former NBA Coach of the Year, but if you lived in a neighborhood, you'd want Avery Johnson on this side of you and Roy Hibbert on this side of you. The two most, I never heard either one of them say a bad thing about anybody, say a negative thing about anything, or get upset about anything in this world. And last night when Boise State made that three-pointer to send it to overtime at 1:30 in the morning, for the first time in my life, and I've been working with Roy Hibbert for years, I heard him yell. I heard him yell one word, and that one word was the F word. Even Josh Pastner had Roy Hibbert upset last night.
Who won?
UNLV won in overtime.
How about that?
Congratulations to Josh. I'm happy for him, broadly speaking. But I did not even walk into my hotel last night until 2:15 in the morning.
That's tough.
I think my eyes tell that story.
Yeah.
I think my eyes might tell that story. Anyway, Chris Vernon could be anywhere, in the room next to me. But he ain't going to be on this show.
No. We'll talk. We'll catch up with him soon. We'll have a lot to talk about.
We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. His next appearance should be wild.
We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
I'll catch up with Chris Vernon.
Sounds
soon.
good.
We come back. We'll do 5 more things, and we'll start it with Mike Tomlin resigning as head coach of the Steelers on Monday. That's a tough thing to have happen right after you spend 11 minutes talking about it'd be crazy if he wasn't the coach of the Steelers. And then you say, rep your hood. And then they're like, Mike Tomlin doesn't coach the Steelers no more. That's a weird thing to have to tweet out later on. But whatever. We'll talk about it in real time next. Gary Parrish Show presented by OrthoSouth.
Southland Casino Hotel is helping you navigate to Santa. Win your share of over $550,000 in free play and a brand new Lincoln. Here Comes Santa takes flight on Saturday, November 1st, when you can begin earning entries. And don't forget the grand finale drawings on Saturday, November 29th and Saturday, December 27th to win a share of over $40,000 in free play or a brand new Lincoln. Win big during Here Comes Santa, only at Southland Casino Hotel.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
The only thing better than Saturday Night Hoops is when it comes with an exclusive Grizz hoodie. Every Saturday this season, $60 gets you a Grizzlies ticket and a limited edition Grizzlies hoodie. 4 different hoodie designs dropping across 4 Saturday games. Not sold anywhere else. Don't miss your shot to collect all 4 designs. Grab your tickets and gear up now at grizzlies.com/Saturday.
How would you describe your rookie season so far?
Growth. The best way to grow is to be thrown in the fire, and I think coaches and all of my coaches have done a good job with that, because I remember having a conversation with him. He was like, the fastest way and the best way you're going to learn is if I throw you in the deep end and you try to keep your head above water.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and OrthoSouth understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. And that's because OrthoSouth welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays and the evenings and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit OrthoSouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in and OrthoSouth will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at OrthoSouth.org. That's OrthoSouth at OrthoSouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
One day after being eliminated from the AFC playoffs, Mike Tomlin resigned his position as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. After 19 seasons, he is a future Hall of Famer, but he's currently unemployed. Are you surprised, Bennett, that Mike Tomlin walked away one day after losing the playoffs, because it appears that a lot of his players were?
I'm not that surprised. We've heard rumblings about this all season long, depending on how their season went. And I think that, like, it's one of those situations where I think he's going to be a hot commodity if he still wants to coach, but it seems like it probably just ran its course there because they're used to winning and they've kind of hit this playoff rut where they're not winning, haven't won playoff games in a long time. But on the flip side, like, I think a lot of teams in the league would love to have that guy as a head coach. Like, I don't think it says anything about his coaching capabilities.
He's had a flawed roster for a while. If you're wondering why the postseason success fell off, that is probably the best explanation. But Do you know what his record was in his last 14 playoff games? 3-11.
I mean, and that makes sense though when you because think about like who the quarterbacks were there, like
you're dealing with
post Big Ben, right?
Right. Yeah, and think about the quarterbacks you're dealing with in the playoffs. I haven't gone through the entire thing, but I do know that during that stretch in the AFC, Patrick Mahomes existed, Tom Brady existed. Like those are maybe like
Lamar in your own division when they were rolling, yeah.
So you can explain it away, but 3-11 in playoff games is 3-11 in playoff games, and he became this season just the second coach in NFL history to ever lose 7 consecutive playoff games, joining Marvin Lewis. So this is one, we've talked about this before. This is one where the perception of the fan base, like the hardcores, is wildly different than the perception of the casuals. I run into this in college basketball sometimes. You will talk about something that you think you have a good understanding of, and immediately the fans who like live 2 miles from campus and have season tickets, they will tell you you just don't get it. Now, sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong, but that happens a lot. You may tell you another place where it happened? When the University of Memphis fired Tubby Smith after 2 seasons. That was wildly unpopular nationally. Pat Forty, I think, wrote a column saying, "What are you doing?" And other people were like, "What are you doing?" And yet, I think you would agree with this. All due respect to Tubby Smith, like I've said before, I don't look back on all of that with any sort of good memories. Like I think I was right with what I said at the time, but I don't like the way I said it, and I don't like how I emphasized it. And though that was something that I talked about enthusiastically, and I think on some level, like got it to a place where it was a reasonable conversation to have, and then execute. I don't like that. I don't like, I look back on that and I just remember for more than a year talking about this very good man should be fired. And that's just a weird thing to say. I know it's part of the job, but I don't like any of that. My point, though, to connect it back to this is nationally or from casuals, they couldn't understand why you would fire Tubby Smith after 2 years. That's Tubby Smith. He won a national championship. He's a good man. He will maybe be in the Hall of Fame someday. Yeah, but you don't understand. You don't get it. And so I've always tried to remember that as I talk about other things when Connecticut fans or Purdue fans or some college basketball fan base tells me I'm not getting something when my opinion contrasts completely with theirs, because I know that's possible. Because I saw other national media members I respect and like not understand the Tubby Smith situation in Memphis because they just didn't understand it because they're not here. I don't even blame them for not understanding it, but they need to recognize they couldn't understand it because they're not here. That can happen in sports, and this feels like a great example of that. There are a lot of Steelers fans who think yesterday was a good day for their franchise. Because they're like, you guys can keep talking about how much you love Mike Tomlin. He is 3-11 in his last 14 playoff games, and he's lost 7 straight. Imagine if Josh Pastner was the coach at Memphis and lost 7 straight NCAA tournament games. And then you were turning on the television. There's Mike Greenberg on Get Up and everybody else, and they're saying, Mike Tomlin's amazing. You would be screaming at the TV. You'd be saying, circling back to Josh Pastner, you'd be going, Josh Pastner's amazing? He's lost 7 straight games in the NCAA tournament. He's 3-11 in his last 14 NCAA tournament games. What are you talking about? But that is what most people say when they talk about Mike Tomlin. He's amazing. So how do you make sense of that? There's a big divide between what the Steelers fans who emphasize that record believe about Mike Tomlin and what, broadly speaking, the rest of the world believes about Mike Tomlin. I thought yesterday was crazy. You should beg Mike Tomlin to not resign from your position. And yet there are Steeler fans who are like, I'm glad that's over. God bless him. Put his name somewhere in the stadium, but I'm glad that's over. He was 3-11 in his last 14.
Yeah, I think it's hard to tell a fan base that lives through it on a day-to-day basis what they should think about something like that. Because again, they're used to winning there big. I mean, it's the Steelers, right? Like, they're used to winning at a super high level. So I can understand that. It'd be interesting to see like what they're saying, like on the call-in shows, like on Pittsburgh Sports Talk Radio today, right? Like what the consensus is from the fan base. I think it would be probably mixed, but I wouldn't be surprised if it leans more towards, man, it was time to move on. We're stuck in a rut right now that we can't seem to get out of.
That's what it sounds like. I don't know if it's most Steelers fans, but certainly some Steelers fans. While the rest of the world is talking about, I can't believe you would let Mike Tomlin walk out of your building.
Right.
There's some Steelers fans who are like, he's amazing, but this was not going anywhere. This had been the same thing for a while. We're good enough to not miss the playoffs, but not good enough to advance in them. And what fun is that? So I just thought that was interesting to recognize the contrast between the national reaction to Mike Tomlin making this decision and the local reaction to Mike Tomlin making this decision. Either way, he is still under contract with the Steelers. Like, he walked away from real money. Like, this is like, if you just continue to say, I'll do this job, they'll continue to have to direct deposit you every 2 weeks. And he's like, nah, I'm done. We're good. But they still own his coaching rights, for lack of a better phrase. So the idea of him just going and coaching the Ravens, that can't happen without the Steelers agreeing to it or getting compensation for it.
That makes me a little nervous as a Titans fan now. I'm holding out hope ever since this news broke, but I'm wondering if they might say, "Nah, we're good, AFC. He ain't going to an AFC team."
Well, like, it is up to the Steelers. Like, you could not employ Mike Tomlin as a coach next season unless the Steelers agree to it in some way. So there's some thought that he will do TV and that everybody wants him. Like, if you have NFL games, you want Mike Tomlin. ESPN, CBS, Fox. I saw one media analyst suggest that Fox should be considered the leader in the clubhouse, but I don't think anybody would argue with the idea that you never know till you see somebody in a studio consistently what they'll be, but the idea of Mike Tomlin would be great, I think. Like, I would be interested in hiring him. I think he would be terrific talking about football on television. So either way, he's done coaching the Steelers. He might coach somewhere else eventually, but barring a surprise, it seems like his next move is probably going to be in a television studio.
Number 2.
Wild night college basketball last night. Tennessee Tennessee went to double overtime to beat Texas A&M. We don't have to spend any time on that.
Why?
You want to? Go ahead.
Well, I just want to give a big thank you, since you're talking about a big night of college basketball. I want to give you a big thank you to Texas A&M last night, because they were the game. They were the biggest game. And
Buckyball.
Big thanks to them. Big thanks to Creighton as well. I thought that was a sure thing, but apparently it wasn't against Georgetown at home. So I just want to thank those schools. My children are going to have good birthdays this month because of you. Thank you so much.
Your children have birthdays in the same month?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Does that mean anything? Is it coincidental, or does it suggest anything at all?
I mean, it might mean you like to do it more certain times of year than others. I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
I don't know if there's any deep meaning to it. It's just kind of left out that way.
That's what I'm trying to ask you.
Do it more in the summertime? I think most people would say that.
Do you do it more in the summertime, you think?
I mean, obviously so. I had 2 kids born in January. So,
well, like my kids are born in November, December, and February. So it's sort of similar. That's why I ask. Mine aren't all in the same month, but they're all in the same range. Do you think you and I both like to do it more in the summer?
Are we on some kind of calendar? I never thought about this until right now.
You think we're on a calendar?
Huh. What's in the air that time of year? I don't know.
Bennett, you think our humping is sequenced?
I'm sure there's some kind of studies that can be done that can find the answer to these things, but I think it's probably just a coincidence.
I'm going to assume it's a coincidence.
Yeah.
But it might not be. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Happy birthday to you, boys.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Miles is going to be 3 on Saturday or on Sunday, and Noah's going to be 7 in a little over a week.
At what age do you think Noah's going to start going to school consistently?
Man, I mean, ask Shelby County Schools. That ain't my problem.
Noah is in the Grind City media offices more than me.
Yeah, I mean, that's I don't know, man. That's up to them, man. I'm just following the school calendar.
I walk into Grind City media offices. I'm probably gonna see Noah.
He basically lives up here.
I'm gonna see Noah before I'm gonna see Darby.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah,
I'm gonna see Noah. Like, we should give Darby's desk to Noah.
I mean, he does sit at it quite a bit when she's not here because she's got like the big candy jar and all that stuff.
She's got that big candy jar. That's a tough spot for Darby. I got to talk to her about that.
Yeah.
You don't ever want to be the person in the office who has the candy jar because you got to keep it up.
Yeah.
And everybody can tell you they respect your candy jar, but everybody is also, every time you're not there, going to grab something out of that candy jar. I can't tell you how many I cannot tell you how many Darby Kit Kats I've had.
Very true. Shout out to Darby.
Shout out to Darby. She's unbelievable. But that's a big responsibility, to be traveling with the team the way she is and also have to keep up the candy bar bowl inside Grind City Media, particularly with Noah floating around all the time. There's a lot going on, all right? Here's what I'm trying to tell you. What do you think I'm trying to tell you?
That it was a big night in college basketball last night.
Man, it was something else. It was something else. Texas A&M covered against Tennessee, so your boys are going to have wonderful birthdays. That was nice to hear. But the headline of the night, that was Kansas upsetting Iowa State inside Allen Fieldhouse. You might remember I told you yesterday Iowa State was undefeated, ranked second in the country. Kansas had been struggling. And if you looked at ISU's schedule, their next 9 games, including this one against Kansas, were against unranked opponents. So if you were trying to figure out who could be the last undefeated team in college basketball this season, you might want to look to TJ Otzelberger's Cyclones. Then they went out and got their brains beat in by Kansas last night. They're 16-1 now.
I'm looking to see what Darren Peterson did last night. He was okay. He was okay.
Hey, you know what? Here's what Kansas fans would tell you. He didn't have to leave the game because his legs were bothering him. He's awesome. That last night was not his best game. In fact, it was just it was a below average game for him. But it is always interesting, sitting in studio with a couple of former NBA All-Stars and watching players like that, because I respect that. I know I can sit in front of a camera and talk about basketball. I've been doing it for a long time. But I don't know what it feels like. I don't know what it's like to be out there. I don't know what it's like to try to stay in front of somebody. I don't know that stuff. I don't feel it like that. But I'm fortunate enough to sit in studio every week during the season with people who do. And if you would have seen Wally Zerbiak and Roy Hibbert talking about Darren Peterson last night, you would have understood why he's going to be the number 1 pick in the 2026 NBA draft. He has barely played this season. He has never been perfect in terms of his health, but he just moves differently than everybody else. He looks different than everybody else. Literally last night on Inside College Basketball, as Brent Stover was pressing Wally Zerbiak on it, Wally, so Wally, what do you? He's like, you can see it. I see it. I know what it looks like. I've guarded Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
I know what it looks like, and that's what it looks like. And that is the type of name Wally throws out. Wally Zerbiak was in All-Star games with Kobe Bryant, and he's watching that last night, and he's like, that's what it looks like. Look at his arms. Look at the way he moves. It almost looks like everybody else is playing full speed, and he's playing 80% speed, but he's still getting wherever he wants to go. There was one sequence last night where he just pulls it in somebody's face, a shot that makes no sense for most people. It's the type of shot you see Cam Spencer take. That's exactly what it was. It was a Cam Spencer shot, right? You just pull it quick and in somebody's face and with very little space, but you're one of the best shooters in the world, so you take that shot. Cam knocks those down all the time. Darren Peterson had one of those last night. But what you have to remember is he's got everything else too. This is a conversation I'll remember for a while. We were at Big 12 Media Day. I sat down, did a one-on-one with Darren Peterson, sat down, did a one-on-one with Bill Self. afterwards, cameras off, and me and Matt and Orlando are just hanging out with Bill Self. And so it's an off-the-record conversation. I won't give you the specifics, but I'll give you the sentiment because I don't think Bill would mind. He's like, did you talk to Darren? I'm like, yeah. What do you think? Seemed awesome. Impressive. Like, impressive. Just, I talk to young people all the time. It's part of the job. And some of them sound like young people. And some of them are impressive. And he's impressive. He's like, yeah. I said, like, what? So, like, talk to me about him. I've seen DeBonsa a lot. I would take him number one. Why does everybody else say Darren Peterson? And Bill said things like, I'm just telling you, we've been in scrimmages. And he knocks down 10 of 11 threes. And that's not even the best part of his game. I said, oh, is he not a shooter? Oh, no, he is a shooter. He shoots it. He shoots it. He is shoot 40% from three. But, like, that's not even the best part of his game. Nobody can stay in front of him. Nobody can see what he sees. All of this stuff. Like, okay, but what kind of teammate is he? The best. How is he to coach? The best. Work ethic? The best. So, like, in the gym early and the last one to leave, all the stuff. Every cliche you could attach to a basketball player. Like, he can really shoot it. Yeah. He can really, bounce it and get around people. Oh, yeah. He knows how to play in ball screens. Yeah. He has the length, 6'6" with a 6'11" wingspan. So he's got that stuff. All the stuff people draft Cedric Howard just because he has that.
Right.
Well, here's somebody with that and everything else, and the right mentality. I've said this before because Bill said it before, and it's a wild thing to think about. Bill Self has coached Andrew Wiggins, who was the number one pick in a draft. Bill Self has coached Joel Embiid, who was an MVP in the NBA. And before Darren Peterson ever even played a minute for him, he said, that's the most talented player I've ever coached.
So he I know we're going to talk about this a lot probably over the next couple of months. He's the number one point guard in this draft, right?
By all indications.
Okay.
That's not even debatable. That's not even debatable. If you're looking for a point guard, that's the one you take first. The only conversation you would have is, if you're just looking for best prospect available, do you go to A.J. DeBonsa instead, Cameron Boozer instead? But most people agree at this point that Darren Peterson is going to be the first name called. And I think it's interesting to understand this. We've been watching this college basketball season since November 3rd. A.J. DeBonsa has been unbelievable. Cameron Boozer has been unbelievable. Darius Acuff, this freshman class is going to go down in history, I think, as the best freshman class in college basketball that we've ever seen. And despite us all watching those players be amazing and barely watching Darren Peterson at all, if you did a round of calls today with NBA people, the overwhelming majority would still tell you Peterson's the guy. DeBonsa's amazing. Acuff could be great. Nate Ament, interesting. Cameron Boozer, probably your National Player of the Year. Darren Peterson is the person who should go first in this draft. And even if last night wasn't his best game, there was enough moments in that game where you could pick up on that. Big picture stuff, who cares about Iowa State? They're 16-1 now. They've been great. They are great. They will continue to be great. That was more of a statement game for Kansas. As I told you yesterday, this is crazy to think about. In Bill Self's first 20 years at Kansas, he won 16 regular season Big 12 titles. Never finished lower than third. 14 of those conference championships were won consecutively. I believe this to be true for the rest of my life, for the rest of anybody's life. I don't think any coach will ever win 14 consecutive power conference championships again in college basketball. I don't think it can happen. The leagues are too tough now, too big now. But Bill Self, once upon a time, won 14 consecutive Big 12 regular season championships. I don't think that'll ever be duplicated. Through 20 years, 1 through 20, he never finished lower than third in the league. But in year 21, he finished fifth. In year 22, he finished sixth. And if they lose last night to the second-ranked team in the country as a 3.5-point underdog, they would have dropped to 1-3 in the Big 12 and been projected to finish even worse than fifth or sixth. In other words, there's a chance, and still is, that the worst 3 years of Bill Self's career at Kansas could be years 21, 22, and 23. At his age, that's when people start to ask big questions about you. And we might get to the point where you still got to have that conversation. But last night was a real big statement night. Like, hey, we're still Kansas. This is still Allen Fieldhouse. We still have one of the best coaches in the country and the best player in the country. And when you got those two things, I guess Iowa State learned last night, you got a chance.
Number 3.
What is Kiefer Sutherland doing?
I don't know. I didn't see this story. What happened?
Okay. I don't know exactly what happened, but I know what the charges are. Kiefer Sutherland, like we sometimes do, all of us, I think you should.
Mm-hmm.
We secured a vehicle, either Uber or Lyft or some other rideshare app, and this vehicle is going to agree to take us from one place to another.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine it's going well at some point. Kiefer Sutherland pulls out his phone. He requests a car. Car shows up to pick him up. He jumps in the car, and now he's been arrested for assaulting a rideshare driver.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Why you do that? Why can't you just get in the car and put your AirPods in and just let it take you where you're trying to get to? Why you want to? Why is it so hard for? Why I genuinely don't understand this. Why do people have incidents, Kiefer Sutherland or otherwise? Why do people have incidents with Lyft drivers and Uber drivers? What is the problem? These people, like literally, the only thing they're trying to do is take you from one place to another. All you have to do is sit down, buckle up, and just be quiet. And they'll just take you where you're trying to go. It's already in their computer. How does this lead to issues? It leads to issues all over the country. I'm in Ubers all the time. Help me with my blind spot, Bennett. What happens?
Maybe they're talking too much. Maybe the driver was talking too much. Maybe he wanted a silent ride. You like silent rides. Maybe the Uber driver was talking too much.
I do like silent rides, and I have been irritated by non-silent rides. I got into an Uber the other day, and my driver wanted to talk. I don't know why exactly. I don't know what I did that suggested to him I would like to have a 20-minute conversation right now. But I've got a new routine. I'm real excited about my new routine. I've been traveling back and forth to New York for like 15 years every week during the college basketball season. This is a weird way to live. I'm confident I'm going to look back on it and wonder, what were you doing? All right? I'm sure, like cats and cradles and all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I am trying to improve the way I travel. So I've got a new formula. I got a dressing room at the CBS Broadcast Center. I take all my suits. I keep them there. That's real nice. You mean tell you a real thing? Can I tell you a real thing?
Mm-hmm.
This is a true story. If you go to the CBS Broadcast Center and you get in the elevator and you go up to the third floor and you walk out of the elevator, if you walk left, you can go to my dressing room. And if you walk right, you can go to Drew Barrymore's dressing room. Whose dressing room you want to go to? But we live next to each other now. We're neighbors now, me and Drew Barrymore.
That's pretty cool.
She was in E.T.
I mean, she's pretty legendary at this point.
She lives 50 yards from me. We dress 50 yards away from each other now, all right? But that's not the point of the story. I keep all my clothes here now. I keep all my podcasting stuff here now. So now I travel with just a very small bag, and it's making my life so much easier. It's going to make you and Kyra's life easier, too, because there's going to be a point where I'm not asking you to pre-tape as much as I otherwise would, because I don't have to check a bag no more sometimes, because I'm traveling light, all right?
Okay.
All right? So I'm feeling good about things. And once I got all that playing in the works, I was like, man, how could I even make this better? So I sat down with my wife, and she's the most selfless person I know. And so I said, hey, in the spirit of, baby, I'm getting older. I don't know if I can keep living like this. I'm dying. Can we make this easier? Is there a chance that we could, in the spirit of making this simpler, get up on Monday mornings, get the boys up, drop them off at school, and then you take me to FedEx for them so that I don't have to then drive to the airport, park a car in a parking, and then walk all the way to the – it's a process. I know it's out of your way, it's inconvenience, but it could be quality time we spend together. More likely, I'll just be sitting in the passenger seat with my computer open, trying to prepare for a show. But in theory, it could be time we spend together. She was like, of course, I'll do that. So, man, Bennett, you don't know how easy my life is now. I got my wife driving me to work on Monday morning.
Nice.
I do a show, and then I schedule in my phone Uber to pick me up right outside FedEx Forum. At the time, I know I'm going to finish talking to Michael Eaves. So I say bye to Michael Eaves, and you know how it works. We've already pre-taped the rest of it.
Mm.
And then my car's waiting right outside FedEx Forum, right outside in the front, like right where the food trucks are. It's amazing. So my life has gotten better. So anyway, I schedule an Uber, and it's sitting right out in front. And I hop in the car, and he says, "Are you Gary?" I said, "I am Gary." And I said, "Are you so-and-so?" He said, "I am so-and-so." I said, "All right, then we're supposed to be together. Let's go to the airport." And I put my AirPods in. I always wait to put them in until I can be seen by the driver because I want it to be a visual.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at me. My AirPods are in. I'm clearly doing something other than trying to talk. But my man was not dissuaded. He wanted to talk. And so I am not. You tell me how you would handle this.
This ain't New York, buddy. We like to chit chat in these parts, okay? I don't know how they do it up in New York with their AirPods and their fancy contraptions, but down here we like good old fashioned Southern hospitality, okay?
Okay, tell me how you would handle this, because this is the honest to God truth. I really do have stuff to do. I've got to tweet the top 25 in one. Like I think quite literally that is what I needed to do in that moment. Get in the car and tweet the top 25 in one. And my driver's talking. It's not that I don't want to talk. It's that I'm busy. I have work to do. This is part of the day that I have assigned to work. I've literally thought about this. I'm going to finish talking to Michael Eaves. I'm going to get up, take my boys to school, get dropped off at FedEx Forum. I'm going to do the Jessica Benson show. I'm going to pre-tape 2 segments on the Gary Parrish show. I'm going to do the open live, talk to Michael Eaves, get into the car, finish the top 25 in one, tweet it out, be done. This is part of my work day, but we're talking. I am not strong enough or rude enough to tell somebody, I'm sorry, but I don't want to talk. Are you? Can you do that?
Hell no. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't even think about it.
Because if you're capable of it, you would have already done it to me years ago.
No, I like the Uber thing, like the rideshare thing. Here's where I think I like a situation. I like the pleasantries. I like to hey, all that. And I'm down to talk for a little bit. The best ones, the best interactions are the ones who understand when it's time. Like, we don't have anything to talk about anymore. We can just we can talk for a little bit, and if something comes up and we're talking about it and we're in conversation, that's great. But then when that conversation ends, we can just stop talking and it's no big deal. That's the best feeling.
I think the best is total silence, but that's second best. What you just described is definitely second best, and I want to make it clear, my driver on this day, he was not interested in any of that. He wanted to talk, until I got out the car. From the moment I got into the car to the moment I got out the car, which I can appreciate, but I was busy. There are things I needed to do. The whole time I'm talking to him, I am silently suffering. I'm like, this is something I needed to do so that when I get to the airport, I don't need to do it. So that when I get to the airport, I can download Pluribus so that I can have a drink, so that I can relax for the first time in 2 days. And my God, you're still talking. But I am not strong enough to tell another human, stop talking to me.
Yeah. You know what? And I doubt that's what happened here. You know what I think probably happened here?
What do you think happened here?
I've seen this happen before, where you get in, you punch in where you're going right beforehand, so your driver knows where they're taking you and everything, and then you get in the car. Maybe it's been a late night, maybe you've had some drinks, I don't know, but then you say, hey, can you take me here? Well, no, your thing says that I've got to go here. I don't care what the thing says. I'm saying, can you take me here instead? I'll give you some extra money. Well, I have to follow the guidelines of like what my rideshare company says to do. I don't give a crap what your rideshare company says to do. I'm telling you to take me here. I bet anything that's how it went down.
That's how this is a fight?
Yeah,
Okay.
I guarantee that's how it went down.
Okay, I think I told you the story about.
You told me that story, yep.
Okay, so I'm criticizing Kiefer Sutherland, but like I had an incident with an Uber driver a few months ago. He dropped me off in the middle of Times Square in the middle of the night.
Yeah, this is definitely a situation where he thinks he wants to go this place, and the driver's saying, "No, I'm supposed to go to this place." That's what happened. I know that's what happened. Yes.
Okay, maybe I'm not as good as I like to think I am, because as I put this into the rundown, I was like, man, why can't you just? How do you have an incident with the Uber driver?
Mm-hmm.
But in fairness, I wanted to kill an Uber driver like a month ago.
There you go. So see, I bet that's what happened.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Here's what happened to me. We have car services, and they usually just have this car. But like the car, it was over. They were like, "Hey, car service is on the way, but it's going to be 20 minutes." And I'm like, I do not want. I will walk back to my hotel before I sit here for 20 minutes. And they were like, "You want me to just get you an Uber?" Like, yeah, just give me an Uber. I don't care. You can put me in a Toyota Corolla. Like, I don't care. I'm not Jim Nance. I just want to go to sleep. And so they call me an Uber, and they put in the address themselves. And God bless her, talent coordinator. She's the best. She's amazing. But, like, she just messed this up. People mess up sometimes. You know how it is. You got those buttons in front of you. You know what it's like to mess up sometimes. And so she's amazing, but she messed up. And she put in the wrong address. And I'm not paying attention to anything. And the driver's like, I'm like in my phone, not even looking where I'm going. And we get to a corner, and the driver's like, all right, have a nice night. And I'm like, bro, what? And he's like, we're here. And we are in the heart of Times Square, like where Spider-Man is over there smoking crack. Like, we are in the middle of it. I'm like, bro, I don't live here. I need to go like 15 blocks that way. He's like, well, no, this is the address. I said, okay, well, then they clearly just put the address in wrong. You have me at this property, but I need to go to another property. He was like, you got to get out right here. I said, just what do you want? Like, just tell me what to do so that you will drive me to my hotel. He said, you have to get out here. And I wanted to kill him, but I'm not capable of it, so I didn't. I didn't. It crossed my mind, but I don't know how to do stuff. I don't know how to kill, so I just walked away. But Kiefer Sutherland was the star of 24. He knows how to kill.
I bet that's what happened.
You can screw over as an Uber driver a podcaster who doesn't know how to kill because, like, who cares? But you screw over the star of 24, now you got problems.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay, this is making more sense.
Yeah.
This is making more sense to me now. I'm glad we figured this out. Anyway, broadly speaking, I think you should just get into an Uber or a Lyft, be quiet, and it'll usually go just fine. All right?
Mm-hmm.
If the Uber driver wants to talk, entertain that, I guess. If you're strong enough to be rude, congratulations. I don't know how to do it yet. I'm working on it. I think. Do you think a therapist would tell you, build boundaries, and if you don't want to talk to a stranger in a car, just tell them you don't want to talk to a stranger in a car?
Oh, I don't think you can do that.
People do it all the time.
That just seems really aggressive to me.
It does to me too. I'm not comfortable with it. All right, but anyway, I'll reserve the right to have true judgment on Kiefer Sutherland at a later date. I don't know what happened quite clearly yet.
Number 4.
The Mets are trying to get a new outfielder. They already have one outfitter making $60 million a year. Now they're trying to give another outfitter $50 million a year. Cal Tucker might be a Met. It ain't my money. What do I care? We just need players.
Yeah, sounds like it. Good luck, man. Y'all have had a wild offseason.
It speaks to, on some level, like there must be like a culture problem there or a something problem there, because they have all of the money, but people don't want to be there.
Right.
So now they're reduced to giving Kyle Tucker, who's great, whatever, but like they've offered a short-term $50 million a year contract. And it's like, why would you give $50 million a year to Kyle Tucker? And it's like, because nobody else will take our money. So we just got to overpay for Kyle Tucker. But like, this is what they did with Max Scherzer too. They had to overpay for him. Max Scherzer was like, I didn't know if I was going to play for the Mets, but at some point they put all that money on the table. You just got to go, put on a Mets hat. I would like it better if players want. I would like it better if players like to play for my favorite teams. And I feel like I'm living in a world right now where players don't like to play for my favorite teams.
I feel like I'm living in that world too.
And it's got to get better someday, don't you think?
Yeah. I do. I do. I like to think that way. Yes.
I like to think that way too. Anyway, Kyle Tucker, take the $50 million, man. It ain't my money. I don't care I don't care.
Number 5.
Okay, do you see this little media controversy yesterday? Do you know Burt Magnus? Do you know who Burt Magnus is?
No.
He is the president of content at ESPN. He's a big deal.
Okay.
So, like, if you're ever trying to figure out, who decides if Stephen A. Smith gets all that TV time and all that money, or Pat McAfee gets all that TV time and all that money, Burt Magnus he's in those rooms. So, there was a survey done by The Athletic. It was kind of like a candid coaches survey that we do at CBSSports.com, except they were asking fans, subscribers, like, hey, college football season is it's largely done. Let us ask you some questions, and you answer them for us. And one of the questions in this survey was, do you like Pat McAfee on ESPN's College Game Day? And a large percentage of people said they did not. They would prefer College Game Day without Pat McAfee. And so multiple ESPN people quote tweeted this and chimed in, but among the most prominent, Burt Magnus. And he pointed out, people can say they don't like Pat McAfee on College Game Day. That's fine. But every year that he's been on it, the ratings have been better than they've ever been before. So the first year of Pat McAfee was the best year of Game Day. And the next year of Pat McAfee was the best year of Game Day. And the next year of Pat McAfee was the next year of Game Day. So people can say, if you ask them in an online survey, that they don't want Pat McAfee on Game Day, but we quite literally have no evidence to suggest that that's real life. Think of it as a TV show, because that's what it is. If people are watching a television show and they don't like the people on it, what history shows in television is they change the channel. They watch something else. That's just not happening with College Game Day. So congrats on your survey, but we're more worried about these numbers as opposed to those numbers. What do you make of that? There is no TV evidence that suggests Pat McAfee is anything other than a TV star. But when The Athletic sent out a survey to college football fans, a good percentage of them said we don't want Pat McAfee anywhere close to Game Day. Makes sense to that.
I think it's I think it's frankly similar to his colleague Stephen A. Smith. Like you see more of, just if you're online, you see more of Stephen A. Smith's annoying. Stephen A. Smith sucks. Like who cares what he has to say? But somebody cares.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, obviously somebody cares, because they're not going to put these guys on these shows if it doesn't benefit. Like, they're not just doing it because they like the guys, right? They're doing it because it benefits them and their programming. So I don't know. I think that, like, anything online is gonna trend negative, probably. Like an online survey, things like that. It's gonna trend negative. Just that's how the internet works these days, right?
That's it. That's right. That's the takeaway. And it's why I don't even think I would put a question like that in a survey if I work for The Athletic, because the internet and random people on the internet, they lean negative, and you're just creating a headline that is really nothing more than the byproduct of people being shitty on the internet.
Yeah, I'll give you a perfect example. When I listen to like a podcast or something, like occasionally you'll get the notification that's like, "Are you enjoying this?" And it gives you like the stars that you can click on and stuff like that. And sometimes I'll just hit ignore. Sometimes I'll click on the stars if I'm enjoying it or whatever. But then the follow up is always, "Okay, why do you feel this way?" I never answer that. So you're never going going to get a positive response to something. Like, it's only going to be the person that's like super mad and then negative. That you're going to get the negative responses because someone's feeling some kind of way about something, but you're rarely going to get like the positive feedback on stuff like that.
Most people who live on the internet tend to lean negative, it appears, and are more enthusiastic about sharing negative opinions than sharing positive opinions.
Positive, right. Maybe that should tell us something.
Oh, it should tell us everything. It should tell us everything. Like, you see people, there are people who wake up every day, and I don't even mind them. Like, I'm appreciative.
I just spilled coffee. That's why I'm moving around.
It's fine. You can move around. There are people who wake up every day, and I appreciate them. Like, I would rather them be here than not. I don't mind them, but I'm aware of them. And they just wake up every day, and they could do anything in the world. Like, the internet's a big place. You could do anything. And they jump in this chat just to raise hell and complain and bitch and be negative. And that is the internet. I see it all the time. In my own little way, I try to offset it sometimes. I mean, it's very small and stupid, but like this is something that just bounces around my head. TMZ, like, I'm on TMZ every day. I love TMZ. I get mad when like new things aren't happening on TMZ. I'm like, man, come on, somebody get arrested or somebody die or something.
Isn't that crazy? I can remember a world where we rolled our eyes at TMZ.
No, man,
a long time ago. I love
TMZ. I don't know why I'm looking at it.
TMZ's great.
There are times where I'm like, why am I looking at this? Why do I know about this? Why am I thinking about this? But I'm still there every day. And every once in a while, like in between their stories, they'll have like little polls or surveys or something, multiple choice. And it'll be like Timothy Chalamet and Kylie Jenner in December 2026. And then your options are still together or dunzo. And every time any of those things are put up there, the overwhelming majority of the respondents are dunzo. Like, people just want to predict failure for everything, predict negative for everything. And that, more than anything else, is what that Pat McAfee thing reminded me of. If you ask random people online, the type of people who spend hours on the internet every day and will actually participate in your survey that normal humans probably go, I don't have time for this, and what does it even matter anyway? But you got this whole other group of people who live on the internet, and they can't wait to chime in on everything. Every time something like that comes up, it skews negative. They're going to lean that way. Do you think this couple's going to get divorced? They always say yes. Perhaps because they're right? I'm not missing that. But it's like their instincts are always to just be like, do you think these people will be happy? No. Do you think this movie will succeed? No. Do you think this is going to go well? No. It's just negative. Do you like Pat McAfee? No. Except people do like Pat McAfee. That's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how impossible it is to go from a no-name punter in the NFL to one of the biggest media stars in the country like that? I'm not even going to pretend I understand it. I don't. Like, he's not for me. But I appreciate the talent, and I recognize it. I don't watch the Pat McAfee show. He doesn't interest me in any way. But that probably says more about me than it says about him. But the idea that people don't like Pat McAfee, that's crazy. People do like Pat McAfee, except for, certain people who just aren't conditioned to like him, and or people who just skew negative on everything on the internet, people who respond to surveys.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know people like Pat McAfee? Because if you have anything in sports that is broadcast on television, anything under that umbrella, you're probably trying to get him on it. He hosts a talk show in the middle of the day. They put him on football broadcasts on Saturday mornings. WWE wants him in their arenas as often as he can be there. That doesn't have to make sense to me. All I have to do is recognize it's a real thing. That guy's a star. people do like him. And when you see surveys suggesting otherwise, it is nothing more than a survey of people who you could have asked them if they like anybody. You could have asked them if they like anybody. Name the 5 best people you think are awesome on TV and send it out to those same people. Do you like this person? They'd say no. You know why? Because they're just sitting around every day living on the internet, just being miserable and being negative about every single thing. That's that athletic survey. And that's why I think if you are a reputable media outlet like that, you shouldn't be putting questions like that if you're going to turn them into headlines. Because the only reason we're talking about this is because there's a survey out there that's getting traction that says college football fans don't like Pat McAfee. But it's not real. You know what the headline should be? College football fans who spend hours every day on the internet and are mostly miserable, so bored that they'll actually take the time to participate in a meaningless survey, say that they don't like a much more successful person in life than them on a TV show that they might not even watch at all. That's a more accurate reflection of that athletic survey. Be back with GP's Carryout.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Rumored to be one of only 18 in existence. Plated with the very same tungsten that forged the International Space Station. And wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
The Grizzlies are the one thing everyone in the family can agree on. So join us every Sunday this season for Sunday Family Fundays. It's a steal at just $35 and includes a ticket to the game, a $10 food voucher, post-game free throws on the court, and a meet and greet with mascot Grizz. Space is limited, so grab your tickets now for this unique experience your family won't soon forget. Go to grizzlies.com/Sunday and have a fun day.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
Who's going to be the tougher team that rebounds and prevents second-chance opportunities?
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Grizz fans for Grizz fans, 191 collabs presented by Pinnacle celebrates Memphis designers and showcases our city's unique voice and vibe through hyper-local Grizz gear. Next up, the From Memphis with Love collection with Peso Design Studios drops Saturday, January 31st when the Grizzlies take on the Minnesota Timberwolves, 7 p.m. This soulful, vivid collection channels the city's rich culture with bold streetwear styles and is only available in FedEx Forum on game night starting at 5:30 p.m. Buy your tickets today for access at Ticketmaster.com or visit 191collabs.com for more info. That's 191collabs.com for more info. Let's do GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we miss today?
So, Bennett, this time yesterday we were talking about, or at least earlier in the week, talking about Brooks Koepka rejoining the PGA Tour with some penalties, sure, but joining the tour because of a path that was provided to him by the PGA Tour that was also provided to Jon Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau, and Cam Smith if they wanted to take advantage of it. Since we had that conversation, those three golfers have publicly said that they are under contract with LIV and plan to be on LIV at least until those contracts are done. So it seems to suggest if you were hoping Bryson DeChambeau at the very least was going to join Brooks Koepka on the PGA Tour in the year 2026, that is not going to happen. And then there's another headline. Dustin Johnson, the former major winner, who has fallen offshore but still a big name, he has re-signed a multi-year deal with LIV. So there was a possibility that this PGA Tour audible that allowed Brooks Koepka to rejoin could actually be the end of LIV Golf. But based on Jon Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau, Cam Smith, and what Dustin Johnson at the very least have done in the past 24 hours, it suggests that it's going to LIV. It will in no way be competitive with the PGA Tour and is clearly at this point never going to be what they want it to be. But it will apparently continue to exist with at least some big names playing in their golf tournaments.
What's today's biggest game?
All right, Big Bet Bennett. We're doing college basketball, and I'm going to take you.
Let's go.
I'm going to take you to Mackey Arena in West Lafayette, Indiana. It's a Big Ten showdown. 5:30 Central tip, Big Ten Network, Iowa at Purdue. And this is interesting because you have Purdue's Braden Smith, the preseason National Player of the Year, who is on pace to become the NCAA's all-time assist leader, breaking a record that's been held by Bobby Hurley for decades, against Iowa point guard Bennett Sturts, who is considered a lottery pick in the 2026 NBA draft. So incredible point guard matchup here. Purdue minus 10.5. The total's 144.5. How you going to act?
Man, Iowa's got a good record. Is it because they're really good, or is it because they've played not amazing competition?
It's because they have genuinely one of the best coaches in the world.
Yeah.
A guy named Ben McCollum. I don't know if people listening right now know this story. So he was a Division II coach for a while. Won 4 national championships at the Division II level. And then finally, a Division I school that he thought was worth moving to came and approached him, and that was Drake. And so last season he went to Drake. And it was like, all right, we'll see what this Division II coach can do at Drake. You know what he did at Drake? Won 30-plus games, won the conference championship, went the NCAA tournament. And he happens to be from Iowa City. So he has forever been an accomplished basketball coach from Iowa City. But it took him moving from Division II to Drake and then being awesome at Drake for Iowa to be like, yo, this guy grew up down the street. So he's a local guy who is now in his first year at his hometown school. And the point guard that was with him at the Division II level, Bennett Sturts, then followed him to Drake. Bennett Sturts is now at Iowa and a projected lottery pick. So there's tons of great stories here. Ben McCollum, awesome coach. Purdue's the better team. That's why they're a 10.5-point favorite. How you think you're going to do this?
I'm going to go Iowa here. The reason being because I'm looking at Purdue's last 2 home games, and they were against not great opponents, and both were within 10 points. They won both, but they were both closer than 10. So I'm going to go Iowa.
Bennett says take Ben McCollum, take Bennett Sturts, take the Iowa Hawkeyes plus the 10.5 tip tonight, 5:30. If you want to watch it with Bennett, you can do that on the Big Ten Network.
What are we watching on TV?
Can I interest you in people we meet on vacation?
People we meet on vacation. That sounds intriguing.
Have you ever met anybody on vacation that you've talked to ever again after the vacation?
When we went to Peru, we stayed in touch with some folks.
Oh, I knew Peru was going to factor into this. I knew Peru. I put that on a Peru team.
It was absolutely life-changing.
I know it was.
No, not really. Like, no one that I was like stayed connected with for a long time. No.
But isn't it funny how you think you will?
Yes, you do meet people on vacation, and you're like, oh my God, I met a new friend. But no, you don't.
It's insane. It's so stupid. And I don't even like keep in touch with my actual friends. So like the idea that I would keep in touch with somebody I met on vacation is like nonsense. Like I don't even keep in touch with the people that I actually care about. But I just see the title of that movie. And so a couple of summers ago, we went on vacation. And I took my golf clubs, and I was just like, hey, you go to the spa, and I'm going to go play golf, and then we'll have the best dinner ever. And so you just, you're on a golf course, and you get paired with this guy. He's a total stranger. But this guy, we were both out of the country, and this guy happened to be from Houston, Texas. And, man, we just hit it off. And we were having a great time, and we were drinking beers and playing golf and just talking about everything.
Uh-huh.
And I'm telling you, when we left there, we were taking selfies. We were exchanging phone numbers. He was going to look at a flight to Memphis because he wants to come play TPC Southwind. And he was going to let me know the next week. And, I went back to the hotel, and Kelly was like, how'd it go? I was like, man, we just had the best time. And I think we probably got a tee time at Southwind next Thursday. And I have never talked to that person again.
Damn.
And that is every story. That's every story. You always like, oh, man, we should do this. You should do this. And, oh, man, you know what I should do? And it always just stays there. It never goes anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like bumping into somebody you know at Kroger and acting like, man, we should get coffee someday. And you both know you're never getting coffee. But I sincerely thought I was going to play golf with that guy again. And we have no relationship whatsoever.
Okay, this is obviously based on a famous book I'm seeing. And it's a movie, correct?
It's a movie.
I have
It was based off of Emily Henry's novel. So she's got one girl name in the front and a boy name in the back. Emily Henry.
Okay, I've never heard of any of the people in this movie. So
it's number 2 at Netflix right now.
That doesn't mean much to me.
It means 1 billion people are watching it. That's what it means.
Man, Netflix they have done an incredible job with stuff like this.
They'll make you watch anything.
Anything.
Like,
I would be willing to bet this is not that good. I'm just being honest.
But before you can even have an opinion on that,
that's right.
1 billion people will watch it.
That's right. It doesn't matter.
Let's read about it. Let's read about it and see what we think. This rom-com based on Emily Henry's novel, total opposites Poppy and Alex grow closer over years of summer travels until one trip changes everything. This is what you've been talking about, Bennett. You've been talking about how one trip, particularly a trip to Europe, can change everything. It seems like that's what happened to Poppy and Alex. They took one trip that changed everything. What do you think happened? They did it?
Probably. I would think so.
I think they probably did it.
Yeah.
They probably went somewhere with no intentions of doing it, except Alex. You know Alex wanted to.
Yeah, probably so.
I bet you they went somewhere with no intentions of doing it except for Alex. Alex was like, this could be when it happens. Poppy was like, Alex is my best friend. I love him so much, but he's just my best friend. Alex the whole time is like, I think this is where it can happen. I think they had different ideas going into it. I want to be clear, I know nothing about this movie. This is just the way I'm projecting. This is the way I would go on a vacation, all right? Something changed everything, Bennett. What do you think it is? They did it?
Yeah.
Probably. That's usually what changes everything, for the good or the bad, you know?
Yep.
Anyway, it's number 2 on Netflix right now. Emily Bader, Tom Blyth, Sarah Catherine Hook. Brett Haley directed it. If you could pick any of them people out of a lineup, good luck. Anyway, 1 billion people are watching it on Netflix right now. You can too. Netflix.com.
What's the best thing we've read?
Well, I don't know if it's the best thing. I'm sure it's not. But Top 25 and 1 is updated over at CBSSports.com. I wrote about Kansas and how last night could have been a turning point for the Jayhawks and Bill Self. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it. CBSSports.com.
There we go.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
I'm fine.
It's fine.
My computer rebooted during the break.
Well, what a convenient time to do that.
I know. Well, I didn't do it. It just does it by itself.
24 hours in the day. I only need you for 2 at most. And that's the 2 that you decide to reboot your computer.
I didn't decide anything. It decides on its own. And it's usually during this show for some reason. I wonder if we can change the timer on that.
I don't know. Oh, buddy, you ever tried to change a timer on a work computer?
No.
I actually have. Impossible.
Yeah.
Man, I tried to make my Grizzlies computer to where it just wouldn't turn off when I'm looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I wanted to do was just stay alive. And they were like, you need 11 passwords to do this.
Yep.
No wonder John Morant's trying to get out of here.
Stop. That's not the reason. I'm sure his work computer works just fine.
No, he's probably fed up with his work computer.
Nah.
Yeah, you say that, but wait till Tim Bontemps reports, according to sources, John Morant was fed up with his work computer.
If that's true, Tim, I got a hell of a quote for you.
What if Bennett follows John right out the door?
We tried everything, but the computer wouldn't stop rebooting during the damn show.
And I know the chat's like, I don't even care if Bennett's frustrated or moody. You can't let Bennett go. This is a small market. You don't get Bennett Doyles every day in a small market. You don't let him go. You just have to make it work.
I hope the chat says that.
And then I would come on here and I'd be like, I hear you guys, but we've been saying the same thing for years. Is Bennett going to hit the right buttons today? Is Bennett going to not let his computer reboot today, right in the middle of the show? It's 24 hours in the day. His computer's going to reboot right in the middle of the show. We've been thinking, this all seemed solvable. The whole time, it was like, man, if Bennett can ever just hit the right buttons and not restart his computer in the middle of the show. And then Bennett would say, I didn't want my computer to restart in the middle of the show. It just did it on its own. I'm a victim here. I'm not to blame. I'm a victim. And we'd be like, okay, we don't know who to believe now. And then finally, at some point, Bennett just gets fed up, and he's like, I got to go. And then I would come on here, and I would say, I hear you, chat. I love Bennett as much as you did. I wanted this to work. I never envisioned a time where Bennett Doyle wasn't the face of the franchise. But we've tried everything we can to make it work. And for a variety of reasons, among them, frustration with a work computer, it was just time.
There's always a breaking point.
The stories are similar. It's hard to tell the John Morant story without telling the Bennett Doyle story.
Don't say that. Someone's going to clip that.
What do you want to do? You want to cry or you want to laugh? What do you want to do?
I think we've done a little of everything today.
What do you want to do? You want to cry or laugh? I'm doing the best I can, man. I hate all this. If it doesn't come through, know that I hate all of this as much as all of you do.
Yep.
But this is where we're at.
Yep.
Hey, tomorrow's Thursday.
We got a big game.
The biggest game.
Yep.
Desmond Bane's first game against the Memphis Grizzlies ever. That was always supposed to be the storyline. Somehow it's not. But we'll try to focus on it a little bit tomorrow, I promise.
Sounds good.
Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to try to enjoy mine. We're going to be back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.
How are you able to release and have an instrumental song become a huge deal?
And I forget who the disc jockey was, but he put the wrong side on. He put the Green Onions by mistake and played the B side instead of the A side.
No!
And that's when the change happened. These people started to call the station and say, play that song again.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
The long goodbye begins. A very special evening with Journey. Final Frontier Tour. Journey. Tickets are on sale now at journeymusic.com. your chance to say goodbye to the songs that changed our lives. Journey. Final Frontier Tour.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Watching the Grizzlies is easy with FanDuel Sports Network. If you have cable or satellite, you're all set. Find us on your channel lineup. You can also use your TV provider login to watch games on the FanDuel Sports Network app. No cable or satellite? Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network online. You can also watch on Prime Video by adding a FanDuel Sports Network subscription. Not sure where to start? Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com to learn more.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included.